Is it possible to talk about one success story in a program like this one? You're just in the first semester? That's the question. I was born about 27 years ago in Cameroon, and since then I've been crisscrossing the world in different directions. I've moved to parts of Cameroon like Sanja, where I cleared the soils and planted cocoa and yams, and I've been to places where I had to till the soil. I've been to Ndawara, where I planted tea. And I've been to Yaoundé, where I studied in university. I've been to Senegal for studies. I've been to France now for studies. And I've come here today to meet this amazing family. So which means that before even joining the crossways and cultural narratives, I was already crossing many ways. And there's still so many ways I have to cross in front of me. And all of you here, I'm sure you've been crossing ways like me. So one of the things I've come to learn about crossing ways is that the more we travel the world, the more we discover how much the world needs us, how much we have to act upon the world, how much we have to patch the broken pieces of our human society. Now, just imagine that you see somebody in a village walking a 20-kilometer or 30-kilometer distance, carrying a heavy bag of about 20 kilograms of beans or meals to sell and fund their child's education. And then you see another person who lives in a mansion, and that person has traveled by every possible means of transportation, including aeroplanes and the boat. Then you understand that somebody needs help somewhere. So just imagine, for example, that you see people carrying their baggage and they're running helter-skelter, and their houses are blazing up in flames behind them, and there are bombs roaring in the sky, and then you see some other people walking down hand in hand, and they are going to take a safari along the shores of the ocean somewhere. You understand that somebody needs help somewhere. So just like you could take a safari somewhere and see corpses of elephants littered in the Waza Park in Cameroon or somewhere else, or you see the rhinos that are being killed, or you see water levels reducing where they should have been increasing, or increasing where they should have been reducing. You understand that the world needs help somewhere, somehow. So such are the kinds of experiences that many, if not all of us, bring onto our Erasmus Mundus programs. And this is what I believe gives us the allowance to be able to impact society. For us to leave our footprints on the sands of time, we have to address such problems. And we understand that the process of recruiting us into our Erasmus program is based on merit, is based on potential, is based on ambition, and so we are the right people to solve these problems, I believe. Now, we are expected to create partnerships, we are expected to be ambassadors, as we have been reminded here today, of the goodwill, of the good news of the Erasmus programs, and to make society better than we met it. So while such societal problems such as climate change, terrorism, poverty, and limited access to education stare us in the face, we have to create the think tanks, we have to create the networks and the partnerships that can make us handle such problems. So I can imagine, for example, a crowdfunding expert from Indonesia. I can imagine a project manager from maybe Ireland working together with somebody who is based, let's say, on let's take, for example, the field of NGO in Cameroon, and they are electrifying villages. Or I can imagine another way round, a group of people here, like here today, creating a soft network that will fund the education of those children who drop out from schools in some parts of the world and are being recruited and enlisted into terrorist groups, and that will be solving a big problem for the world. We can also imagine a group of people who say, okay, as from today, not only EMA, but EMA, and also saying no to the killing of elephants in Africa, to the killing of elephants in some other parts of the world. So these are very good dreams, but the problem with them is that they have challenges. They have challenges. And that is why Seneca cautions us that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. And Molière adds that the greater the obstacles, the more glory in overcoming them. So we shouldn't be afraid of this problem. We should take them as opportunities and exploit them to the full. So as I've written somewhere in one of my books, we have to mount the stairs of challenge in order to create an impact in our world. The Wright brothers did not see anywhere people traveling in some kind of bird in the skies. That was an undoable thing until they did it by inventing the aeroplane. It's the same thing that John Logie Bayet had not seen images magically traveling across distances and implanting themselves in screens in front of people. But once he invented the television, that has become an undoable done. It's just the same way until Alfred Nobel wrote that will that has changed the world, that will that makes it possible for people to be encouraged, motivated for inventions, for creations, and for initiatives that are making humanity better. People thought that was an impossibility. So how can we do these undoables or these impossibilities? We have to dream big. We have to remember that all the marvelous inventions, amazing startups and businesses and influential NGOs in existence today come from human imagination. So visions and ambitions, I'm sorry to say, are born the same day with challenges. They are born simultaneously with challenges. And there can be limitations, there can be seeming impossibilities. And so if we must succeed, we have to muster courage to look through them no matter how opaque they are. Because if they are opaque, and they are always, then what can make them transparent, traversable, and surmountable will be our conviction, our determination, and our sense of direction. And some of these challenges can be our family backgrounds. Permit me tell you a bit about me. As I indicated, family histories can sometimes block people. For example, my dad died when I was barely 9. That in itself is already a challenge.